Hello everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In today's MTPredictor video, I'd like to look at some of the Indian markets we follow in MTPredictor 8 with global data feeds. In particular, I want to have a look at the Nifty on a short-term chart. But before we start that, we have to go through our risk disclaimer. Just to remind you that all examples in these videos should be considered as hypothetical. No trades are actually taken. They're just shown for illustration and training purposes only. Also remind you there's a risk of loss in trading and investing. We'll be looking at some losing trades in the video today as well as some profitable trades. It's important to remember that losses can and will and do happen. All trade decisions are your own sole responsibility. Right, let's now have a look at a 3-minute chart of the Nifty. You can see here we are a bit late in the trading day here and the market's still unfolding. But let's have a look what's happened so far today. Our MTP trend indicator gives a easy to use color coded indication of the larger degree trend. Red is down, black or grey is flat, and blue is up. So let's have a look at what the signals have been so far today. I'm using the regular trading hours for the NSE, and if I go to Tools, Trading Hours, and I come down to NSE, you can see these are on your local time, 9:15 to 3:30. Right, so earlier on there was a TS2 sell setup that was in the direction of the MTP trend, so this is one you could take. So let's have a look at how that would have unfolded at the time. You could use our training mode to go back to there it was at the time. To analyze this, you right mouse click over the red cell bar. So you hover over the red cell bar, right mouse click to analysis, and here's our position sizing. In this case I'm using a $20,000 account, but let's set up an account in rupees. So let's go to Tag Tools, Accounts and Risk. Let's do accounts. Let's do a new account. Let's say it's 100,000. Is that 100,000? Whoops. 100,000, and let's do that in rupees. Where's rupees? INR. There we go. Let's put that. Excuse me. Right, so let's do that account. Let's apply it and then do OK. And now you can see on our drop down here we can now have an account in rupees. So rather than doing our position sizing in dollars, we now do it in rupees, and there's our position sizing in rupees. Remember, we use correct position sizing, so if this turns out to be a loss, and we'll have a look at some losing trades in a minute, it would be a -1R loss or 1R loss. But if it gets down to the first target, which is here, it would be a plus 4.8R profit. Let's turn training mode off and see what happened. Zoom in a bit, and as you can see, the market went down, took you in, it went up. It didn't quite stop you out there, because if I look at the high of that bar, it's a high of 42.15 and our stop trigger is at 42.30. So you weren't quite stopped out there, nearly but not quite. Came down to the first target. And at that point your 4.8R profit was available. So let's just note that down. So that would be plus 4.8R or 4.8 risk units. As the market was dropping so sharply, you might well have, rather than coming out of that profit target, you might well trail just above the bar highs. So each time it makes a new bar, you then do one tick above the bar highs, and that means your stop would come down to here, to here, to here, and then you've been stopped out here just above this bar high. If you'd done that, that would have increased the profit to nearly 8R, which would have been a very nice trade indeed. But let's take the worst case scenario and let's assume you'd have come out at the first profit target of plus 4.8R. There was then another trade setup a bit later here. This was on a black trend, so this would have been a one to take. In this case, you'd have been taken in and then stopped out. It's always good to look at losing trades, and that would have been a -1R loss. So the last profit would have been plus 4.8R. This would have then been -1R. Just note that down. We then come into basically in around the low of the day. The MTP trend is blue. You can see we had a history triangle here, so this would be a good one to take. Right mouse click, do analysis. Again, you'd have been taken in, and here you'd have been just stopped out. Very frustrating, just stopped out. So that would have been another losing trade. So -1R. It's always good to look at losing trades when we do these videos. The next bar here, you had a DP buy setup on a black MTP trend, so this would be a good one to take. So right mouse click over the blue buy bar, and in this case the market went right up to the first target absolutely perfectly. From there straight up to the first target where a plus 2.4R profit was available, plus 2.4R. What's been happening since that? Well, we have a TS3 sell setup, but that's against a blue MTP trend, so that would be avoided. So this has been a good example to show you how, with correct position sizing, even though you had only 2 profits and 2 losing trades, you'd have made money overall. Because the first one would be plus 4.8R profit, so 4.8, then we had another -1, then we had another -1, and then we had plus 2.4. So that would have been approximately 5.2R profit overall. So a good example of how keeping the losses small means that you don't have to have a high percentage of winning trades to make money over time. So the trick is keeping these losses small, so even though you had a losing trade there, and then another losing trade there, just the next profit, the one next profit here, would have more than made up for those 2 losses and put you profit overall, because that profit would have been plus 2.4R. So a good day for MTPredictor on the Nifty so far today, where as we've seen we had a nice 4.8R profit off there, and maybe that could have been slightly bigger, then a -1R loss, then a -1R loss, and then in the end here a nice plus 2.4R profit. So a good example of showing how MTPredictor has unfolded today on the Nifty on a 3-minute chart.